Hello you guys, welcome back to the channel. So I'm going to do a little bit of a Q&A style video, and I had asked and I got some really great questions, so I'm just going to dive right in. So the first one is, what is your rule of thumb for tipping? Now I think we've gone a little tipping crazy personally, and that is coming from a server. It seems like every time you turn around, everybody wants a tip. Now, they say it has something to do with the pandemic, whatever. It's a possibility. My thought on it is, if you didn't tip for this service before that, chances are there's no reason for you to tip now. A sit-down restaurant, absolutely. You're getting service. Hopefully you're getting a smile. You're getting extra above and beyond care. Awesome. 20%. That's what I do. But for fast food restaurants, it seems like everything. That's just my rule of thumb. If it's not very good service, I never leave nothing. I always leave something because I know these people have to pay taxes on that. And I know it comes right out of their paycheck. So for example, if it's a $100 bill, say you and a few friends, whatever, you have some drinks, appetizers, food, whatever. You have a $100 bill. That's what it comes up to. If you leave, and say they're taxed at probably 18%. If you leave less than $18, let's say you leave $10, that other $8 of that is going to come out of that server's paycheck. So literally it's coming out of her pocket or his pocket. That's my thought on tipping. If it's a service that you didn't used to tip and now they're asking you for it, don't even do it. That's my thought. I just don't. It's, 20% for the normal services. This has gotten a little crazy. Okay, I could do a whole video on that. All right, next one. Do you still use cash envelopes? I do use cash envelopes. Not for as much as I used to when we were trying to get out of debt. But I still do for groceries, for vehicle maintenance. Let's see what else. Personal money, pocket money, whatever. I do use envelopes, and let me tell you, when we were getting out of debt, they were a lifesaver. They really held me to account. Okay. How are you preparing for Christmas this year? And do you have a certain budget? Yes, I am. I do have a budget. And also, I start preparing for Christmas in January. So I kind of do a sinking funds idea where I, think of all the things that we want to spend money on in the year coming up. And then I will kind of divide that by 11, say, because we're already in January at this point, when I'm doing this. And so I'll divide it by 11. And then that's how much I set aside. Now that is changing soon, but that's generally how I do it. I know, there's a lot of people who really like having their money in like the online savings accounts. They have higher interest and whatnot. And that would be another way to utilize those, is to, like for example, I just did this math this morning. If you were to put, say $15,000. This was the number that I did, because that's up to this amount. The $15,000 is what they will pay the high interest on, if you had a high interest savings account. So if you had $15,000 in there, after a year at the 5%, which is what this bank was offering, would be $750. Now that's a pretty good chunk of probably anybody's Christmas budget. So I mean, that might be an idea. So, all right. So next one, do you travel much? And your favorite place to visit? I don't travel that much, actually. I like going to like local places. I haven't even seen all the places in my state, to be fair. I just love going like little towns. I love to see the history of them, all of that. And right now my favorite place to go is the coast. So, all right. Do you eat most of your meals at home? And what helps you stay consistent? So, We do eat most of our meals at home, and what helps me stay consistent is I have quite a bit of a pantry, and so that helps. I can kind of look around. I've got a freezer, has quite a bit of meat in it, and so having those things already there to where I'm not having to start everything from scratch every time I go to the grocery store to kind of have some sort of a plan for meals for the week, that helps being consistent, because on the days that I have nothing planned, I can pull something together fairly quickly because I have, you know, a pantry, and I do that on purpose. Like, even if I only need a handful of things from the grocery store, I will take my budget that I have for that week, and I will get a few things to put in my pantry, whether that's meat, canned goods, some frozen stuff, whatever, so that I always have a good stock of everything going on. All right, so what frugal tips have helped you so far this year, was the question. So I would say one of them has been making sure that I am paying myself first. I know, again, may or may not be a frugal tip. One of them is I don't buy cleaning products. I pretty much just use dish soap and water and a little bit of essential oil for pretty much all of my cleaning. I do use some vinegar, some baking soda, that kind of thing. People spend a ton of money on cleaning products, and so this is a way that our family has realized we don't need to. You know, dish soap takes care of 99.9% of germs, and so does everything you buy at the store. So my guess is they can't be that much better. They're all killing the same amount of germs, and dish soap actually works a lot better than the majority of the stuff that I've had, because I used to spend a ton of money on cleaning supplies. One thing that has helped is automating my savings. That could be another whole video all in itself. So I'm going to move on, otherwise this is going to get really long. All right, let's see here. So this is a good one. What advice would you give to a newly divorced mother of 3 teenage daughters? She doesn't qualify for any assistance. She doesn't have the skills, the education, or the experience to do anything else. She can't get a second job because 3 teenagers, they're teenage girls, 3 teenage girls need a present mother. Yes, they do need a present mother. That is correct. This is another one I could do a whole video on. There's several things with this. I don't know if there is any child support going on. I'm not sure if anybody else is living in the house, if it's just the mama and the 3 girls. I don't know how old these girls are. But, so when I found myself in a super similar situation, probably, granted I only had 2 kids. Mine were 17 and 14 at the time. I was a waitress, and what I did is I did work extra hours. Granted, you're right, mom does need to be present. Now, one of the things is, can the girls pick up some work on their own? You know, can they do some babysitting? Can they do, you know, some things like that that they're capable of doing, and it would help them have the spending money in order to have them, you know, feel like they're doing something. You know, they're not just always, you know, asking mom or whatever. It really builds that sense of I can do anything, you know. And so that's one thing. Another thing would be, is there something that you guys can do to make money together? I don't know what that would be. Maybe house sitting, maybe, you know, whatever the case may be. Maybe doing some, I don't know if you live rurally or urban, I have no idea. But if you did live in more of an urban area, you could do, you know, like Uber Eats or grocery delivery or whatever, where you're still making money, but you guys can be together. And so this is a hard one. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know if there's child support involved. In my case, there was not. So I was extremely diligent about all of my dollars. As soon as I got them, into the envelopes they went. If the envelope got empty, that's it. There is no more. And so that's where I think the thought of them doing some stuff to earn some money for themselves for those things would be really helpful, because then you don't have the mom guilt of always saying no and, you know, all that, which there's nothing wrong with the kid hearing no, but it just sucks as the parent of having to do that all the time, and that would relieve some of that stress. Anyway, that's my thought on that. I'm not sure other than that of what to say as far as, you know, without the skills, the education, the time, and all of that kind of stuff. I was in that situation, and I had no assistance or anything, and so it's one of those, you do the best you can, and you don't take no for an answer, you know. You don't accept the position that you're in. I don't know what else to say about that other than not accepting it. You know, there has to be a way around. You know, people have done this over and over and over again. And so I want to know what they've done. Now, I've told you what I've done, but there's a lot more people who've done way better than me. So I would really scour the internet looking, you know, for different ideas and whatever. And now it's a totally different time than it was whenever I was in that position. And so I'm sure there's some other people that have a way better grasp on how to handle that situation now in our current, you know, situation that we got going on right now. Okay, I'm going to move on because I can make that an entire video. Okay, how many children do you have? I have, let's see, I have 3 stepchildren, and I have 2 of my own that I birthed, and then I have 1 that is actually my niece, but she is part of our children. So altogether we have 6. And we have, let's see, 3 girls and 3 boys. So what's my favorite color? My favorite color is actually purple, but I also love red. I just like a lot of different colors. What are my interests, hobbies, talents? I have no idea what my talents are, honestly. But I can tell you that one of my favorite things to do, and it might sound really corny, is just really sitting around, you know, drinking coffee, talking to my family. We're just, you know, laughing and talking about things, or talking about memories, making memories. I am very one-on-one, and I'm very family-oriented, so that is perfect. Like, when my kids ask me, Mom, what do you want for Christmas or Mother's Day or whatever, and it's like, I really just want them to come over and we all just visit, maybe have some food, have some coffee. That is my favorite thing. Absolutely favorite thing. It's also pretty frugal too, but that's just my thing. And I love, you know, like with me and my husband, I love turning on, you know, Pandora or Spotify, whatever it is, turning some music on, dancing around. I just love being with the people that I love, I guess, and I love being home. I love my home. So, yeah, I guess that's kind of boring, but that's kind of, I mean, I am not a super complicated person. So, I hope that helps. I hope that helped you get to know me a little bit better. And I want to do these more often, so if you have any other questions that you want answered, definitely let me know. And I will see you in the next one.